Each of us has our own unique background and story of how we became a part of Chiefs Kingdom.
Our reach is far and wide, with fans all over the world cheering on our Kansas City Chiefs.
Everyone donning the red and gold has figuratively signed that mutual agreement and come together for one common purpose.
For 76,000 of us at a time, to descend upon Arrowhead, man our stations, let out our loudest battle cry to the tune of 142.2 decibels, and make that stadium rock until our opponents beg for mercy.
We are unrelenting in our pride for this city, these players.
Man, I can't complain, brother. I can't complain.
How has retirement been going? Since I know you've been out of the league since 1993. How's retirement treating you, buddy?
It's good. It's good. You know, I can't complain, but I'm busy. I'm very busy. I have 2 charity organizations that I'm running. I have the California Sports Hall of Fame, which I started in 2006, and it's going strong. And the Christian Okoye Foundation, which I started in 1990, started then to work with kids, and it's going strong too.
Excellent.
Yeah, what's up, Christian? Man, I know you were at Jalapeno Pete's this Sunday, man. I hate I missed it. How was that event?
It was good. It was good. I was expecting a whole lot of people. The place was packed still, but I remember last time I came over there, I came during the day, so it was huge, and people were standing outside, and many people couldn't get in. But yesterday was a relaxed atmosphere, and everybody was sitting down. So it was good. It was good. Yeah. The game wasn't good.
The game wasn't great at all. I know the Chiefs LA do a great job. And, I can't wait to, meet up with a lot of the guys I know when it comes to, January 7th is going to be big time with the Chargers. With the Chiefs still having to play that game, it looks like, with, all of their guys. But Christian, just to talk about the game on Sunday, what's your thoughts of Isaiah Pacheco, his performance, you being the great running back that you were? Just what's your thoughts on his performance in the game, his performance this year, and those final 2 drives, he doesn't get a rush. Do you think the Chiefs should have continued to give that man the ball?
Well, I'll tell you what, Pacheco I love that dude, man. He's tough as nails, and he can run the ball. Every time he's called upon, he produces. You see, so I think they should use him more. They used him some yesterday, more than I've seen him use him, but I think they should call upon him because he's ready for it.
I like it.
Yeah, Christian, it's been a long time since we've talked, man. It's a pleasure to see you again. It's been a few years, actually. We were at Cali's down in Westport. We got to talk some shop for quite a while, and it was an honor to talk to you, man, because you were my dad's favorite player. I want to, just to reemphasize a little bit of what Mike Hill was saying right there, about the smash mouth style of football. I mean, it's great to see that Andy Reid's finally starting to implement that in an offense that clearly needs to rely more on their run game. But I also think it's the fact that when you see Isaiah Pacheco start to slowly become more of a dual threat back out of the backfield, catching passes in the flat, I know that's something that you were able to do, maybe not as much as they do in today's NFL, but you were able to do that. And I think that with Jerick McKinnon slowly returning, I know he's still got his injury that he's battling with, but do you think that this is something that the Chiefs are going to have to start going with as a necessity by throwing the ball more into the flats, taking more of those safer routes as opposed to trying to get those downfield throws, those chunk plays back into rhythm? Do you think that throwing to Pacheco, throwing to Jerick McKinnon, and utilizing Clyde a little bit more is a necessity at this point for this offense?
Well, it is. It is. It gives Mahomes an outlet every time that he's in the crunch. It gives him an outlet, and they've been doing that. But like you said, they need to do that a little more. And the coaches know, they watch the films more than I do, so they know more than I do, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get there. I don't know if you remember last year when we started, is it 1-3 or 1-4, something like that, and many people were counting the Chiefs out. Look what happened. We won the Super Bowl. So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But we're in the middle of it right now. And yesterday, we saw some mistakes that Chiefs don't normally make. This year, we're making a lot of mistakes that we don't see the Chiefs normally make. Our defense is playing much better than the last year and the year before. We like for them to keep playing good. And then the offense catching up is very, very important. Once our offense clicks, nobody can stop the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're kind of still waiting for it to see if it does click. But I kind of ask former Chiefs this when I bring them on. Just what were your thoughts when you heard the news that Tyreek Hill was traded? Obviously, the Chiefs went on to win a Super Bowl. But now they've just kind of said, I mean, we did it once. Maybe we don't need receivers again. Juju's out the door. They just kind of keep the same bunch. Obviously, they drafted Rashee Rice, brought him in. He's looking impressive as a rookie, but the rest of the bunch is leaving a lot to be desired. So what were your thoughts on kind of the Chiefs trading Tyreek Hill, and then there's thoughts on the receivers right now?
Well, yeah, Tyreek Hill is a big loss for us, of course. And the Chiefs kind of let him go because it was a lot of money for him, and Miami was able to pay him the money that he wanted. That's fine. It's good for him as a player, and the Chiefs let him do that, and as much as they love him. But we do need a number one receiver. We don't have it right now. We need number one receiver. Mahomes is very good at spreading the ball. I've been doing that all year, and he will continue to do that. He did that when we won the Super Bowl, and he's doing that this year. We just need to have the receivers catch the ball and hold on to it. If we caught all the balls that Mahomes threw to the receivers this year, we'll be undefeated.
Mm-hmm. So, agreed.
But they need to hold on to the ball. That's it. Our offense is fine. It is fine. Mahomes is fine. He's doing his thing, and everybody's doing good. We run the ball a little more, which I really like. But if it wasn't for those drop passes, we'll be okay. But now we're just playing catch up.
Yeah, Christian, talk to us about this venture, this book that you've just recently come out with. We had Tim Grunhard on back in July or August, I believe, to talk about his book, and now you have one out. It's called The Nigerian Nightmare, My Journey Out of Africa to the Kansas City Chiefs and Beyond. It's available for purchase now at ChristianOkoye.com. Let's talk about the book and kind of what made you want to delve into this and kind of what the reception has been like so far for this book.
Christian.
Did we lose Christian here?
Christian, you still got us?
We must have lost Christian. Christian we'll try to get him back, guys. Does have this book that has come out, and you see it up on the screen here. It's called The Nigerian Nightmare. It is a must read if you're a Chiefs fan. From Azusa Pacific, where Christian Okoye went to college, to his journey being, drafted, being brought to the Kansas City Chiefs, to playing for Marty Schottenheimer, to being, sort of this just like iconic legend that emerged kind of out of nowhere in this Chiefs offense. So, Christian, are you back with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sorry, we lost you there. I was asking about the book and had it pulled up here. It's available for purchase at ChristianOkoye.com. Just kind of talk to us about the book, what made you want to write this, and what the reception's been like so far from the fans that have read it.
Reception is pretty good. I mean, I receive messages from people who read it, and they really loved it, and they keep telling me, I know you, but I didn't know everything about you that you put in the book. And that's why I wrote the book, because I wanted people that didn't know me real well to actually read the book so they can know more about me. It took a long time. It took a long time to put it together. People have been asking me to write this book, and I finally decided to do it. And I found a guy out of New York who helped me put it together. Greg Hanlon is his name, and he's written books about for many sports personalities.
It's tremendous.
Yeah, Christian, I just want to come in here and get a fan question here. What are your thoughts on Pacheco? I think you already gave those, but where do you think he could improve? That's one.
Pacheco, he doesn't have anything to improve on. He's running the ball and he's running hard. He runs angry, runs bigger than he is, and I like that. That's one thing that you have to do to support Mahomes, and he's doing everything that he could, and he's doing everything that is expected of him to do. So yes, I love him.
Christian, in 1989, you led the NFL in rushing, and in 1990, you still had a good season as well. But the Chiefs drafted Harvey Williams in the first round in the 1991 draft. We had Harvey Williams on here 2 weeks ago, And in previous podcasts on other channels, he talked highly about how you were a mentor to him and how you showed him a lot. And he took that same mentorship and he did it with Napoleon Kaufman, who was a number 1 draft pick with the Raiders. Can you talk about what it was like to mentor Harvey Williams in 1991?
Well, yeah, Harvey was a high draft pick, and when he came in, we already had, myself and Barry Ward. So yeah, he made the third, and he was a different type of runner. Barry was a big guy, I was a big guy, and Harvey himself wasn't a small guy, but he was a little quicker and younger. So he pounded the ball some, but he also went outside and caught the ball in the third down situation. But he's one of those good athletes that you would like to have on your team, and he did what he had to do for us until he went to the Raiders.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to Harvey, man. He showed us a lot of love here. So, Christian, we have to talk about it. NFL Africa, they're trying to expand. And do you have any? Do you partake in any of the growth with that? And what do you think the NFL can do to make American football bigger in the continent of Africa?
Well, they're doing what they have to do right now, and that is to host camps. They need to let the kids know about the game, because all in Africa is soccer. Soccer is huge in Africa. And that's how I grew up. And I loved soccer growing up. And, they are now planning to do different camps, introducing the game to Africans, which they should be doing. But the next step is to actually go over there and play a preseason game, a friendly game, so that they can actually, be proud that American football came to Africa. And I've suggested that to the league, and they're thinking about it, and hopefully they'll listen to me and host a preseason game in Nigeria, because we're ready for it.
Oh, that'd be big.
Yes.
Christian, I'm interested on your perspective on the AFC right now, because we go into this season, and the previous few seasons, the AFC has been assumed to be the more dominant conference just based on the quarterback play alone. Going into the season, we knew that 7 of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league are on the AFC side. But as it currently stands, 4 of the 7 current playoff teams in the AFC will have a backup quarterback starting this week. Now, that's a significant advantage for the Chiefs just based upon that. Trevor Lawrence going down with an injury. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen currently outside of the playoff picture. We know this team has its issues with getting the offense, going on a consistent basis. We'll see highs and we definitely see lows. And you're very confident the offense is going to click. Do you think that even though the offense, let's say the offense doesn't click, let's say they still struggle like this going into the postseason, do you think, based upon the fact that the Chiefs will have such a significant advantage at quarterback going into the postseason, whether they're the 1 seed or they're the 4 seed, does that shake your confidence at all? Or do you think that advantage is going to be such a significant advantage for the Chiefs with just their quarterback play alone that they're going to be able to get to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years?
No, it doesn't shake my confidence. Like I said before, we just need to eliminate the mistakes that we make. So as long as we eliminate them, I mean, we are almost, healthy. We're healthier than most teams out there. What's holding us back is the mistakes. The quarterback player, Mahomes, is doing what he had to do, but although he scares the hell out of me when he runs. I don't want him running because I don't want him to get injured. Many teams will take advantage of that. So, but he's staying healthy, and I like that. He's doing what he had to do. He's the same quarterback that we had last year and the year before, you see. So as long as he keeps doing what he does, the receivers need to keep the ball when they catch it. They need to hold on to it. I was really amazed in Arrowhead Stadium seeing Kelsey lose the ball, but he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. So we have that mistake going on, and as long as we can, curtail them, we'll be all right.
All right, we got a fan question here from Steve Harold. Can Christian tell a good story about Marty Schottenheimer?
Christian, keep it up. Keep it up. That's what he used to say to me. He says to me, "Hey, listen to me." He puts his hands around my shoulder. He says, "Christian, listen. You see those guys on the stands? They know exactly what we're gonna run. So the defense know what we're gonna run, but we're still gonna do it, and we're gonna be successful at it."
Hey, Christian, this one's for me.
Right?
Just is Marty a Hall of Famer? Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
I think so. Marty won everywhere he went. Everywhere he went, he won. He won in Cleveland. He won in Kansas City, Washington, San Diego. I mean, he was a great coach and a good teacher. So I truly respected him, and so sorry that he's gone now.
Yeah, we definitely miss Marty a lot. Lost him just a couple days after Super Bowl 55. Christian, I'm just going to put this image up here. I had this poster when I was a kid. It's iconic. I'm looking into reordering it for my man cave. Just tell us the story of the Nigerian Nightmare poster with the Freddy Krueger glove. What do you remember about that photo shoot? And just that picture was just iconic in Chiefs Kingdom for so long.
I'll tell you what, man. I received a call one time during the season. I received a call from Seattle from John Kostakos. He says, "Hey, are you interested in doing a poster?" I said, "Yeah, I've seen some of the posters you guys produce. Yes, I'm sure." He says, "Okay, how about flying to Seattle on Tuesday? We'll do the shoot. Give us about 2-3 hours. We'll do the shoot, and he can fly back to Kansas City." I said, "Sure." So I flew in. We did the shoot, and then I flew back to Kansas City. Yeah. So it took a few hours to do this. When I got there, all these things in the back, they were already there, prepared, and it was a great one right there.
It's iconic. It's like one of those images I have that's burned into my mind. I was a big horror fan, so Freddy Krueger was an icon. Christian Okoye was and is an icon, and I want to make sure, guys, Christian, before we let you go, to remind people that your book, The Nigerian Nightmare, My Journey Out of Africa to the Kansas City Chiefs and Beyond, is available for purchase now at christianokoye.com. You can get it on Amazon, anywhere books are sold, and it is a must-read. Like you said, for people to really learn your backstory and your journey from being born in Africa to being an icon in the NFL. Christian, we can't thank you enough for being on with us today, talking some football, and let's catch up again soon, my friend. You're the best. We appreciate you.
All right, appreciate you guys. God bless you all. Take care.
Yeah, thank you, Christian.
Go Chiefs.
All right.
Well, there you have it, guys. Christian Okoye, and so we got that in. Again, his book is out now, so please check it out. Tim Grunhard also has one out as well. Please check it out. It's like, a good light activity to do in between Chiefs games that these days. And guys that are just coming in or just came in for the interview, Brian B. Shynin, not here today, in his place, from the Spoken, from Chatting Up the Chiefs postgame here on Starcade Media, Lance Twidwell is in here with us, and he's just the guy to do it, because if you heard his postgame show this week, you know that he's got some fireworks, he's got some stuff to say. We all do. And so now that the niceties of speaking with an icon like Christian are out of the way, we can get into ripping each other's heads off. Go.
Now, it was – hey, first of all, you got to give credit to the Green Bay Packers. I think the Green Bay Packers had they had the best game plan that I've seen a team play against the Chiefs. It actually worked. That, we've seen, other than like the Bengals when they were able to beat the Chiefs a couple of times in the last few years. But like they had their game plan. Like they made it very simple. They weren't trying to do anything extra. Just pick up first downs, use some clock, and they were able to score early. And their defense said, we're going to keep everything in front of us. So you have to give the Packers a lot of love because they played a great game. And it's the only way that you can beat the Chiefs is hoping that everything fall in place, and it did for them.
Yeah, Lance, what did you take of from that game, the Packers and Chiefs? We were standing there in the stadium, and never once, I don't think I clapped or threw my hands up in celebration. We were always down, always trailing. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were the Chiefs came into that game as 6-point road favorites. Had an opportunity to build upon something they did against the Las Vegas Raiders just a week before, where we felt like the offense all of a sudden found something. The talk across the landscape was, the Chiefs found it. They clicked. They got Rashee Rice going. The running game's doing their thing. things are good. And then guys, this is the scare, this is the concern, this is the worry that I had. I know Clint, I know Noah, Shane. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I know you guys vocalized this alongside me this offseason about the inept room they have at wide receiver and why that's going to be a problem this team is going to have to overcome. Now, we're all confident this team's going to overcome it, but in this matchup against the Packers, you saw that the Packers were giving the Chiefs opportunities to prove that they had fixed things, and that did not show. And the problem is, guys, is that because all season long, this defense has been special. It's been as special as any of us could have imagined or dreamed it would become. I had them as a top 10 defense. I think a lot of people did. And in this game, they were nowhere near that. And it shows that when the defense is not special, this team does not win games because they cannot get enough out of the offense. And see, even with all that said, and we talked about this with Von Booker on the Chatting Up the Chiefs postgame show, there was so much that I had to say that I was pent up and pissed off, and I wanted just to give it all to the Chiefs and say, this is all in the Chiefs. This is they screwed up. I didn't want to give the Packers credit because, damn it, I thought the Chiefs lost the game. But here's the problem. We have to now sit here and acknowledge the fact that officiating did play its part. And I know people don't like blaming officials, but we have to get over the fact that I don't like when people say, well, you can't blame officials if they don't dictate the outcome. No, they don't dictate the outcome, but they can influence the outcome. And even though the Chiefs played bad enough to lose that game throughout the game, even though they played bad enough, they had multiple opportunities on that final drive to get that bad boy ended up. I mean, maybe they tie it up. Maybe they get everything right. And maybe they still lose. But that's on them. That's because of their execution or lack thereof, not because of a bad no call. That's exactly what happened, though, is for the third, fourth time this season, we see the Chiefs, who supposed to get all the calls, not get all the calls. And that's the problem we're facing, guys, is that this league has a real officiating problem. And unfortunately, I can't sit here and put this loss completely on the Chiefs because of the fact that it wasn't completely on the Chiefs, because they still had a chance to tie that game, maybe force overtime, and then see what happens. And I would take the Chiefs because they got Patrick Mahomes over Jordan Love, even though he was balling in that game. Give him credit for what he's doing. Matt LaFleur putting clown shoes on Spags for the majority on that game. But the point remains, that game was still a portion of it. I felt a lump in my throat. I was so angry when we did the post game because I wanted to give it to the Chiefs directly, but we couldn't do that because the NFL has a real problem on their hands, and it was on full display in front of the nation with about 14.5 million people watching.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And I just want to go to this because you mentioned that defense. We all thought it was the number one defense or top three, and man, it was leaky there, and it wasn't just because Drew Tranquil and Brian Cook went out. Before they went out, they were still getting gashed, whether it was the run game, giant holes, whether it was the pass game, players wide open. We saw it, and so I've got to go to this real quick.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Hey, are you sure we got the number one defense in the NFL right now? Shane, are you sure about that? Shane, talk me off this ledge.
Losing Drew Tranquil in the seventh play of the game hurt. Losing Brian Cook hurt. Anytime you have Jack Cochran in as your middle linebacker, who's just basically calling all the defensive snaps at middle linebacker, him being thrust in put the Chiefs in a bind. Steve Spagnuolo hasn't had his press conference yet. I think he usually does on Thursday. But I hope the local media or somebody asks him, did you change a lot of the way you dictate what you do on defense? Because the Green Bay Packers were still able to run the football. Jordan Love was sacked twice, but for the most of the game, he showed a lot of poise and a lot of confidence. He wasn't afraid. And the Green Bay Packers wide receivers, all three of them made plays. And the key of the game was 4th and 2 when Jordan Love dropped back to pass and the Chiefs were coming. He threw it up, just threw a,
lollipop.
Lollipop. It just threw it up in the air, and 3 Chiefs defenders were around there, and the Packers caught it. You felt then that it wasn't going to be the Chiefs' night, but it still showed the poise that Jordan Love had. He was never shook. In previous games all season, you saw Tua shook. You saw the Raiders quarterback shook. You didn't see Jordan Love shook at all. And I'd like to know if it was because he changed some of his calls with Jack Cochran being on the field.
I'm happy you brought that up, Shane, because while I was watching the game, I'm looking like, where's all the blitzing at? Like, I think that Spags kind of got, I don't know what it was. We didn't see as much blitzing. It was a lot of zone defense. So that's where Jordan Love can take you apart because he's a guy that pressure affects him like a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. But the fact that, like, can you guys tell me when we saw a corner blitz or sometimes a double DB blitz off of the edge? Like, I didn't see that the entire game for a team that they're like the Chiefs. They have some receivers that you're not too sure about. I would have loved to seen them challenge them, Jordan Love, but they kind of made the game easy for him. He got into a groove and he was able to put up 27 points. So I don't know what they saw coming in that they maybe sat back and said, hey, we're going to be able to just rush forward and drop into the zone. But, man, that game plan did not work. And like you said, LaFleur did his part with the Packers.
Hey, Tyree Gillespie, former Missouri Tiger. Noah, I got to ask you, because we were talking about this driving away from Lambeau Field. By the way, when you're there, you feel like you're in the late 1960s and that Norman Rockwell's somewhere painting a picture of you standing in somebody's yard across the street from the stadium with a barrel with fire in it. It's just one of those unbelievable experiences. I highly recommend it for anybody. But Noah, what I said to you was, you know what I feel when I break this down is that the magic has left this team. That when the ball leaves Patrick Mahomes' hands, instead of thinking, is Tyreek Hill going to pull this in on 4th and 15 to beat the Baltimore Ravens? Is Tyreek Hill going to pull off Jet Ship Wasp in the Super Bowl? When the ball leaves Patrick Mahomes' hands, I no longer believe. Kicking it to you. What do you think when I said that? Did you agree? Did you think that I've lost my mind? Is the magic gone from this franchise?
For right now, it is. I don't think it's gone forever. I don't think it's lost forever, but right now it is gone. Like you said, when they get the ball late, I don't believe that they're going to find the answers to win, because it's either Kelsey gets open, Mahomes uses his legs, maybe Rasheed catches something small over the middle, a bubble screen, and can get the right blocks to take it down, or nothing. Because McKinnon wasn't there. He's an outlet that can help in that when he gets back healthy. I think that's something positive that the Chiefs can kind of take moving forward. Man, McKinnon's going to get healthy. That's going to be another answer for Mahomes to have, because he just doesn't have enough answers right now. And you're seeing it. It's his legs, it's Kelsey, it's maybe Rashee Rice, and then it's nothing. It's a prayer to MVS, who's turned around and not reading the defense right, running towards the safety when Mahomes is throwing him away from the safety deep down the field. It's Watson doing the same thing in the game against the Eagles, running a post instead of running a 9 route, a go down the line because the middle safety stayed in the middle of the field. And it's Sky Moore, everybody wants to talk about that play. It's been kind of dissected and discussed a lot. The Sky Moore interception play where Kayshawn Nixon goes over the top. It was supposed to be a pick play or a rub, and it didn't work. And Kayshawn read it. He went over the top. And was it on Mahomes? Was it on Sky Moore? And I think it's a little bit on both. Sky stopped his route. He probably should have gone. It was supposed to be a quick play. Mahomes had pressure coming off the edge, and Mahomes throws it. And Sky just kind of stops, looking lost, kind of jumps up a little bit. And I just think this offense is just bogging down. There's no trust there with the receivers, whether it's Sky Moore, whether it's MVS, whether it's Justin Watson. And so people are blaming Mahomes. I don't put a lot of blame on Mahomes. I don't do it. I haven't done it in his entire career, except for the 2021 AFC Championship game against the Bengals. That's the one time I put the blame on Mahomes. If you're saying he's not playing as well, I don't know if it's Mahomes. I think it's that he doesn't trust his receivers. I think it ultimately goes to his lack of trust in the receivers, which you can ultimately blame Brett Veach for.
What do you think, Lance?
You're preaching the damn choir here, man. I mean, you're not convincing me to agree with you at all, because this is exactly what we saw all along, guys, from day one, and this is now a consistent battle between themselves. It feels like a lot of times, guys, the Chiefs are facing multiple opponents at once. It's the team across from them, and it's themselves every damn time. I appreciate what Christian Okoye was saying earlier about, well, if they just catch the ball, then it's not going to be a problem. But it is a problem because these guys can't catch. And it shows that, you're talking about our guy Clay Windler from Red Tribe Cinema and our producer at The Spoken. He brought a great tweet today when he talked about Mahomes' quarterback rating when targeting these receivers. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has a 77 quarterback rating when he targets MVS, and he only targets him like once or twice a game at this point. So that should tell you how bad that is. Sky Moore is a 52.1 quarterback rating when Patrick Mahomes throws to him. That is disgusting. And when you talk about, let's look at the snap counts. MVS leads all wide receivers with 475. He's out there just running track meets at this point, collecting $11 million. And then you got Sky Moore, more like Sky Less, with 456 right behind MVS. Those are your two leading wide receiver in snap counts. Meanwhile, Kadarius Toney, who I get it, He's unreliable physically, but he is a freak when he gets the ball. Only has 175 snaps on the season. That's when he's been healthy for what 9-10 games this season. That's unacceptable. And when you talk about Rashee Rice with only 407 when he's been healthy every game, I don't understand the logic behind it. And again, just like I said, it feels like they're battling themselves. And it's frustrating as hell when you see the drops, when you see the lack of execution, but we keep hearing, well, they're going to get it fixed. How in the world are you getting it fixed when it's the same guys going out there every damn game? And you're not fixing it. You're going to have to overcome it. And what the overcoming is, you're going to have to rely more on your running game. You're going to hope that your tackles can actually, earn their keep because Juwan Taylor's leading the league in penalties, and he's got $80 million attached to his damn name, playing right tackle. And you have Travis Kelce, who's getting doubled and triple teamed damn near every single snap. So what they're going to have to do is hope that when they get to the postseason, wherever they're seated, that they're going to be able to overcome that and that their defense is going to be healthy enough to be great. Because if their defense, like I said 15 minutes ago, if the defense is not going to be great in the postseason, guys, this team will not get to the Super Bowl because this team is predicated this season. And Brett Veach made it abundantly clear this is how he was going to build this team this year by sitting on his hands multiple times at the wide receiver room and tight end room because there's Zach Ertz sitting out there and he's still not signed in for whatever reason. Would be a nice little asset to add for depth and 13 personnel. This defense is going to have to lead the way, and Patrick Mahomes is going to have to be special just enough to make some big plays and win games 24-20. That's how they're going to have to win games this. And it feels weird for us guys because Patrick Mahomes, for the first time in 6 seasons as a starter, is not in control of these games. That's the problem. We feel this angst and anxiety and anger and frustration because it feels like the team has literally pulled the control out of his hands to where he literally can't control the outcome of games like he's been able to for so long. And that's just not the way the Chiefs are supposed to play football. Can they get it done? Yes, but at this time, guys, they no longer get the benefit of the doubt for me. And not to jump ahead here, but because of the fact they have a desperate 6-6 Bills team coming to Kansas City, knowing they have to win this game in order to get a playoff shot, the Chiefs are banged up, coming off a loss on a shortish week. Guys, this is the season right here. I mean, I know the Chiefs season ain't over, but this is going to determine what the Chiefs have inside themselves. Are they a Super Bowl caliber team or not? If they don't win this game, they don't get that benefit of the doubt for me, man, because this game is the biggest game on the season.
Yeah, they have to figure it out because, like you said, you have Patrick Mahomes. There's no way that you shouldn't be able to put up, 24 plus points. But at the end of the day, we all knew what Brett Veach was giving Patrick Mahomes. We knew what he was giving the offense. That's why it's on these coaches to figure out who are the 3 guys. They need to sit down with Pat and say, who are the 3 guys that you trust at wide receiver that we can play? Who is our deep guy that you like best? Clearly, it's Justin Watson. You got to get Tony on the field. You have Rashee Rice, who is pretty much taking that Juju Smith-Schuster role. So you just got to figure out the other pieces that you can fit in. And the Chiefs have the opportunity. They're running the ball the best probably that the Chiefs have since having Patrick Mahomes. So you have that aspect of it. It just comes down to guys have to step up. Like these guys are getting paid paychecks to go out and run routes and catch a football. You have to show up. You have to make these plays. If not, you're going to be the reason that the Chiefs are going to have a total overhaul of the wide receiver position. But what's crazy is that with the AFC not looking as scary, that the Chiefs, if they can utilize these 5 final games that they have, very winnable games, each one of them, that, looking at, what you see on the screen, who really scares you? Like the Chiefs beat Miami and played terrible offensively.
The Chiefs scare me.
So, yeah, that's the thing.
Me as
when
well.
it's only the Chiefs, we've seen it years ago when the Chiefs destroyed the Patriots on live television. We thought it was the end of Tom Brady, and they figured out a way to win another Super Bowl. So the Chiefs still have time, but it's going to come down to guys stepping up. And it's not just the wide receivers. It's that offensive line. The tackles have to be better. At this point, I'm like, do we play Wanye Morris instead of Donovan Smith? Because Smith is getting beat left and right to where I know Wanye gave up the 1 sack, but he's bringing more athleticism. He's doing a really good job when he's in the game. So it's going to really come up to these coaches to really sit down and say, who are the guys that we can trust? These 5 games, I don't care if we're the 1 seed or not. It should come down to how are we playing going into the playoffs. And if we can figure it out and get on a roll and our guys are playing good, nobody wants to face the Chiefs in the AFC. And they're clearly the best team if they can just tweak the things that they need to tweak.
Shane, I'm coming to you with this. If you want to look at these numbers, 2023 Chiefs, 22.9 points per game, defense 17.3 as they jumped up after that 27 points they gave up the most all season to the Packers. Pretty similar to those 1995 Chiefs led by one Steve Bono. The only thing he has over Patrick Mahomes is his cadence. He should be in the Cadence Hall of Fame if there were such a thing. But they had 22.4 points per game on offense, allowed only 15.1. My question to you, and this is a little hyperbolic, I'm going to say that off the top here. What's the point in having a $500 million Patrick Mahomes if you're going to surround him with no talent and he's giving you pretty much the same production on offense that Steve Bono is?
That's a good question. That's a real good question. And I'm going to go to this. It feels, I know you just showed the 1995 stats. This feels like the 1996 Chiefs missed the playoffs. This feels like the 1998 Chiefs. Both those teams were supposed to be great. They missed the playoffs. But I'm going to speak in a language that, or a time. I'm going to speak in an era that everybody here can relate. This feels like the 2014 Kansas City Chiefs. What was significant about that? Not only the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs missed the playoffs in 2014, the Kansas City Chiefs had Alex Smith as the starting quarterback. He did not complete one touchdown to a wide receiver on the roster. The whole season, not one wide receiver caught a touchdown pass on the Kansas City Chiefs in 2014. And I know a lot of people say, well, it wasn't Alex Smith's fault. It was the wide receivers. And we're like, okay, I'll listen to that debate. Well, fast forward it to now. Do we really feel the Chiefs in these important games coming up that Sky Moore is going to all of a sudden run the right route? Do we feel like MBS is going to run the right route and then catch the football? I don't trust him. A good follower of our show, Dick Penix, he watches a lot of all 22 of Kurt Warner's breakdown of Patrick Mahomes. And Kurt Warner's even breaking it down that Patrick Mahomes is not staying in the pocket long enough to throw to these guys that are open. Is it Patrick Mahomes' fault, or is it the fact that he doesn't trust the wide receivers? There's a lot of issues here that this feels like 2014 to me, because what Lance said, Lance said, the Chiefs are their own worst enemy. I fear the Chiefs. And you know what? This feels like 2014 to me. I fear the Chiefs wide receivers because I don't know if Patrick Mahomes trusts them. What do you think, Clint?
I think we're definitely down that path. And, we've talked, Noah and I talked a lot, had a long time to pontificate just exactly where we are going forward and what this is. And, you get real deep on 9-hour-long car rides after a devastating loss. You start talking about things like, is this kind of the end of an era? Is this distraction city? Kansas City, guys, the things that I'm Michael, I can't laugh at it because I am starting to worry. We joked about Taylor Swift and talked about how sweet it was and bringing all this attention and great. You got Andy Reid and commercials. You've got a kid dressed up as a Native American suing Deadspin. You've got a lot of things around this franchise. Being a defending Super Bowl champion, being in the limelight the way they are, commercials, Travis Kelce hosting Saturday Night Live. Now Taylor Swift is here. What's that friend dynamic like? What's it like when she goes out with Lindsey Bell and Lindsey Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes? There is a lot going on here. Is this distraction city? The Chicago Bulls in the 90s, they dealt with it. They got through it okay. Dennis Rodman was flying out to be on WCW Monday Nitro instead of showing up to practice in the NBA playoffs. Lance Twidwell, is this distraction city? Is it time to start thinking about that, or is that just sort of a cop-out and easy way out?
I hate to downplay the 9-hour therapy session that you and Mr. Noah Groniker had together. You would have enjoyed it. I definitely would have, and I would have chimed in plenty. Trust me, I would have taken over probably more times than once. I will say this though, that has never struck me as a distraction, and I'll tell you why. 2 reasons. One, it's inevitable when you are a Super Bowl caliber, borderline dynasty team of any sport. This is what comes with it. Sure. Okay. Second of all, we have seen the growth and maturation of a guy like Travis Kelce in particular. And I think if this would have happened in 2017, there's no way in hell he would have been able to handle this. This guy has grown up so much in the last 5 years. And sure, having Patrick Mahomes and the change of mentality from the team of being a good playoff team with Alex Smith to a perennial Super Bowl team with Patrick Mahomes, the mentality changes. And I think the main thing is still the main thing to Travis Kelce, because to his credit, even when he's being doubled and triple teamed and is 34 years old, this man is on pace to have 110 plus receptions and over 1,000 yards for the 8th consecutive season. So he's still doing his job. And I'm not gonna take anything away from him, even if he is a little distracted, because we know personal lives will distract you in some regard from what you do for a living. But what I'll say is this, this is my point, and everything Shane said, I echo it. But here's the thing. The winning the Super Bowl last season was both the best and worst thing for this franchise. What I mean by that is, obviously winning the Super Bowl is the best thing you can do in an NFL season. That is the ultimate goal for at least half of the league, right? But when they won the way that they did, with Patrick Mahomes going out there and just willing that SOB and just making that happen, Brett Veach truly believed that's how you can keep doing it. And so what he did is he decided, I'm not going to improve this wide receiver room. In fact, I'm going to make it worse. And Patrick Mahomes is just going to make it work. And now you are seeing why this is so damn difficult. We've seen maybe, 1 or 2 games all season where the offense looked like they were having fun, where it was fluid. And you know what? Coincidentally, it was the games where Travis Kelce was wide open, because you see Patrick Mahomes, the difference in the body language of when he throws to Travis and when he throws to literally anybody else. It's a fluid, confident, kind of cocky, arrogant throws. When it's everybody else, you see that, damn it, I don't know. Let's see. That's why this offense continues to clunk, because they did not go and get... I know. Everybody's like, Lance, you were obsessed with D-Hop. That's because D-Hop would have kicked ass in this offense.
Yeah.
He would have been unbelievable in this offense. But even if it isn't DeAndre Hopkins, go and keep Juju. Go and get somebody else that is a veteran that you know is going to be there every single week, that Patrick Mahomes can look at as a safety valve and take the pressure off Travis Kelce. Is Rashee Rice becoming a guy in this offense? Absolutely. And I love what I'm seeing from the kid. He looks like a hell of a pick. But you can't expect a rookie wide receiver to be your end-all be-all in a wide receiver room that not even 5 months ago we were being told is 7 deep. It isn't how it works, fellas.
Right.
It isn't how it works.
We were told on this show that everybody eats, Lance, and I don't know if we still have that graphic. I know Brian B. Shynin's not here to defend himself, but we were told everybody eats. And yes, Lance, this is what we mean by everybody eats in this offense. And this goes to your point about the 7 deep and how we felt about it.
The reason why I can't blame fully on Veach is because he drafted 2 guys in the 2nd round, which is pretty high. But hey, him and his scouting team, whether they got it wrong or not, they took these receivers believing that they can fit in and beat pieces. They traded for Kadarius Toney, a former 1st-round pick that they felt maybe if he gets out of that environment, he can kind of be the guy that we expected him to be. And then they were able to get like MVS, Justin Watson, like kind of emerged during the offseason last year. So I really think they're like, hey, maybe we could sneak by this year, especially paying the receivers low, because we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with Chris Jones. We got to figure out the future for L'Jarius Sneed and guys like that. So it's kind of like what we saw a lot with the New England Patriots, where you had, other than Julian Edelman, I didn't know who the hell was playing wide receiver, but they found ways to win Super Bowl titles. And, that's Travis Kelce is our Julian Edelman, and he's way better than Julian Edelman, So they're just trying to figure out. But at the end of the day, players have to play and players have to perform. If you want to get that next check, which a lot of those guys want, you just have to come out there and make plays. Brett Veach can't get out there and run routes, get open and catch the ball for guys. Guys like Sky, guys like MVS, guys like Tony, when he gets the chance, they have to make big-time plays so that they can stay on the field. But I talked about it all season long. I really think it comes down, shout out to Harvey Williams once again, about sticking guys and keeping them in the game, giving them, say, you 4 guys, you're getting all of the snaps, so we're going to work with you guys. And I think that the coaches need to just pick their 4. If Sky is not one of the guys, he shouldn't touch the field. If MVS is not one of the guys, and he's one of our deep threats, along with Justin Watson, you have to pick one of the two of them, because they have to figure out something so that Pat can get used to the guys that's on the field. When you look up, you just make a first down, and then your next play, you have a brand new 3 receivers on the field. Of course, how can you get any type of chemistry? So I think that as much as we talk about the players, Patrick Mahomes isn't playing his best football. The coaches are really failing this team on the offensive side of the ball, and they have to figure it out.
Specifically what the Chiefs did when they knew that their wide receiver, when they didn't have one touchdown pass to a wide receiver, what's the first thing they did that offseason? The next offseason, got Jeremy Maclin, and they drafted Chris Conley in the 3rd round. The next year, they drafted Tyreek Hill. I think, this is my prediction, let's get Marvin Harrison Jr. out of the way. It's a dream scenario. Yes, I would love to get it, but it's probably not going to happen. I honestly believe the Chiefs are going to see where they fell short with this current wide receiver roster, that it will be addressed heavily in free agency as well as the draft next year. I know Noah and Clint and Lance, you are scarred. You have the right to be scarred, because
it might have cost us a Super Bowl. So
yes, because it could cost us this year's Super Bowl, and nobody else did their due diligence. I was trying to calm Lance down on Twitter, and I was trying to calm Noah.
Good luck.
I was trying to calm Noah and Clint down, saying it's okay, trust Veach. But this is the first time that Veach will be in the hot seat next offseason. When he drafted Breeland Speaks, we're like, yeah, we'll let it go. But not this year, not with this wide receivers failing at epic proportion. I firmly believe Veach will be on the hot seat this offseason, and it will be addressed. What do you feel, Lance?
I mean, I'd hope so. I mean, because at this point, the mentality had to have changed from the top down. I mean, I'll give Clark Hunt all the flowers in the world here, because he's the only reason why Andy Reid's here, and Andy Reid's the reason why Patrick Mahomes is here. So we have to do a trickle down effect here. But to what Noah just said, this could cause, guys. We have to remember here. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is only 28 years old, but
How many years you got left?
Yeah, in about 5 blinks from now, he's going to be in his mid-30s.
Yep,
it flies by. Do you guys remember? 2018 doesn't feel like 5-6 years ago. So this stuff flies by. You have to hit it when you got it. And that's the problem, is that I feel that this team, because it's felt so easy at times, that they feel it's just going to stay that way instead of staying one step ahead of the competition. Why do you think all these teams are in cap hell now? Because they have done everything in their power to get to the Chiefs level. Unfortunately, they don't have the head coach quarterback duo that this team does. So this team's born on third base in a sense. But that doesn't mean that doesn't equal a home run, fellas. You still got to hit the single. You still got to have a sack fly. You still got to have the others that can do the job. Because if we remember, look at memorable Super Bowls throughout history. The guys that have won Super Bowl MVPs, it wasn't always the star quarterback. Brandon Graham won an MVP in a game that was an historic Super Bowl, Eagles versus Patriots, where he strip sacked Tom Brady. It's the others. It's guys like that have to make plays like that. That's why the Chiefs were able to win the Super Bowl last season. They didn't have a great defense last year, but they had guys that made key plays. Chris Jones sat there all season waiting for Joe Burrow, another chance at Joe Burrow in the AFC Championship, and he took the man down in the AFC Championship. You had and I'll give Brett Veach credit to this. This secondary, the man built it because he knows cornerbacks. This man knows how to get cornerbacks from the draft, free agency, wherever it is. He trades up, goes and gets Trent McDuffie. Great. Those are baller moves, man. But on the flip side, you have to be able to criticize them equally for all the praise we've been giving him, the whole trust and Veach movement that I've been a part of. But if you're not doing your job to the best of your abilities, you're not giving Andy Reid the pieces he needs to cook and give Patrick Mahomes the pieces to cook. It shows. This is the result. It's no longer early. It's no longer these guys are young and learning the system. These guys have all been familiarized and understand the system. They're just not good in the system. This is why people say, man, why hasn't Patrick Mahomes elevated these guys? Maybe he has. This is what they are.
Right.
Think about it, man.
I saw that tweet that you put out, and before we move on, I want to play a clip from today's Colin Cowherd show, basically telling all of us to know your role and shut your mouths, and this is going to be okay. Let's hear what Colin Cowherd had to say about the Chiefs as the rest of the AFC continues to fall apart. Shane, before we came on, I said, man, you had a lot of good points in a social media post you made on Monday, but at the end of it, you kind of lost me when you said, maybe it's just not our year. Now, maybe that's absolutely correct, and that's not anything wrong that you said. This is probably not the year to say it's not our year, not whenever You've got Trevor Lawrence out, not when Joe Burrow's out for the year, not when Aaron Rodgers never started a year, and these were supposed to be not when the Bills are 6-6 and desperate. Let's see what Colin Cowherd had to say.
Kansas City's getting to the Super Bowl. Yes, after losing to Green Bay, Kansas City's getting to the Super Bowl. So now Joe Burrow's out, obstacle. Trevor Lawrence out, obstacle. He'll come back probably, won't be 100%. And Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Indy, wild card teams, they all have backup quarterbacks. Miami, you already beat them, and they don't do well against good teams that are physical. Baltimore, love them, but Lamar Jackson has struggled in the playoffs. That's indisputable, and I love him. Houston, rookie coach, rookie quarterback, they're not getting to the AFC Championship. Forget the Super Bowl. So if Kansas City beats Buffalo this week, and I think they will, it's my favorite bet on the board, -2.5. I love the Chiefs. Put a nail in that coffin. And, the Patriots had a lot of bumps.
Noah, what you got, Noah?
Yeah, I guess my next thing that I'm going to say just has no meaning. If Colin Cowherd says we're winning the Super Bowl, I guess we can just add a third behind me and celebrate.
And make the wide receivers even worse next year.
Yes, the receivers will be much worse. Just get rid of MBS, trade Rashee Rice for a ham sandwich, and we're good with the rest. Sky Moore, we're going to feature him. But I want to talk about just Brett Veach. This whole in Veach we trust. How come he couldn't see it coming when Clinton and I and Lance all saw it coming? I saw it last year. I said, yes, okay, we had the number one offense. We're still putting up points, but situationally, things bogged down in times that we couldn't afford it. You saw the Broncos come back, make those games close. The two that we played against them were in overtime with the Texans. What's going on there? And while Juju was somewhat of an answer, I thought situationally, the post game, we had trouble being on the same page and figuring things out early in the season. I just thought situationally, this things bogged down, and it was very, very hard on this offense all the way through the playoffs. You saw what happened in the AFC Championship game. Mahomes and Kelsey put on their Superman cape along with Chris Jones. Those young defensive backs came along. But I was like, man, looking down the pike, somehow, by hook or crook, we won that Super Bowl. Thank God. Now let's go get some real receivers. Brett Veach said, no, we're good, man. We're good. We don't need any receivers. Juju wants a little too much money. He's got a trick knee. Let's let him go. We don't need anybody else. And now we are in big trouble. Things were hard last year, I thought. Well, they're even harder this season. So I don't know what this is going to look like, but we've got the schedules here for the Dolphins, Ravens, Chiefs, and Jags going down. And how are the Chiefs going to get this one seed? Looks like the Dolphins, they could lose to maybe the Cowboys and Ravens.
Buffalo.
Niners, maybe Buffalo, depending on if they're even still in it. Are they playing starters? Josh Allen in Cancun, he's not even at the game. And the Jags, they've got problems. If obviously Trevor Lawrence is out, they could lose to the Ravens. And so, but that's assuming that maybe the Chiefs win out. And I don't know if they can do that because they get in their own way that we've talked about. So, Shane, what do you make of the schedule? Can they figure something out here to get that one seed, or are we just talking about the Chiefs going on the road here?
I think the Chiefs are going to have to go on the road in the playoffs. I see us, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way. When I say it's not our year, it's just how I feel. Lance and I were at the Buffalo Bills game in Section 110, Row 4 2 years ago, and the Buffalo Bills came here, and the Chiefs were real inconsistent. The Buffalo Bills took advantage of an inconsistent Chiefs team, and they won, and they really won kind of easy. The Chiefs had a chance to make it close. And then Buffalo Bills came back in the regular season last year and won again. But looking at that schedule, I think the Chiefs, with the team they have, will go 2-3 the rest of the way and finish the season at 10-7.
That's terrible, Shane. That is terrible. I think there's only one L on this. That's possibly for the Chiefs. Can you put that back up, Noah? That's
what I'd say before I watched them in Lambeau Field, and now I'm very unsure about
Green Bay
outside the Patriots.
We can't take away from Green Bay. They figured it out as far as offensively, and they have some pieces there.
What if the Bills figure it out?
But think about this, just like Andy Reid said in his presser on Monday. The Niners lost 3 straight games, and everybody was like, everything is coming to the end. The Niners suck. It's the Eagles to walk away from. Who's the best team clearly in the NFL right now? The 49ers. So you still have that time. It's not about winning.
And Trent Williams are coming back for our offense. They've just been injured.
Listen,
missed it.
You don't win Super Bowls in December. You win them in February. So the Chiefs just have to get hot enough. And looking at these schedules here, the Dolphins, they have a few tough, matchups. The Cowboys are going to be tough. They're trying to be the number 1 seed. The Ravens, of course. Buffalo is still a divisional thing, so we're going to see. The Rams are playing some really good football right now. That's not going to be a cakewalk for the Ravens, who also faces Jacksonville, the Niners, Dolphins, Steelers. They have it tough. Jacksonville, without Trevor Lawrence, they could possibly lose to the Browns with Joe Flacco, who was able to put up a solid performance. And then, they have the Ravens. Tampa Bay is going to be tough for them.
Carolina's looking for that second win. Come on here.
No, but the Titans are still, it's a divisional game because we don't know what Trevor Lawrence is going to look like. So I believe if the Chiefs can go 4-1, that they could somehow steal home field advantage. But to be honest, I don't even think they need it because there's not the only team that I really was like.
Every year they need an advantage. It's
I hate that we have to play them because they're so tough. It's Joe Burrow and the Bengals, and Joe Burrow is not running out on the field to save them. So all of those other quarterbacks have to prove it. The Ravens don't have their best weapon on offense. Jacksonville, we beat them when we look like scrubs in week 2. So for me, it all comes down, like Lance was saying, it comes down to the Chiefs beating themselves. Every game the Chiefs have lost this year, they have beat themselves. That's why I'm not too scared, because if they can just tweak enough that we can be talking about this Chiefs team making another run to the Super Bowl, but it's going to be up to the players and coaches figuring this thing out down the stretch.
The Chiefs have scored over 27 points against 3 opponents this season. It was the Bears, the Chargers, and the Raiders. Which of those teams are they going to face in the playoffs? None of them. And here's the thing I'm worried about. I posted a poll today, and I asked people a very candid question. I said, because the Chiefs are currently averaging 23 points per game. I asked the people out there, if the Chiefs offense has to average, offense has to average 24, just one more point per game in the postseason in order to win the Super Bowl, do you believe they can and will? 45% said no, and that's almost 500 votes. So that's Chiefs Kingdom, the blind faith, people out there that want to just believe this team can do no wrong, are people out here that are legitimately worried because now we have 13 weeks of a sample size, guys. And so I look at this, and I actually, crazy enough, and I always sound like an absolute pessimist, and no one can keep me from just talking crap. I actually do believe the Chiefs are going to get the 1 seed because I don't believe in the Ravens. I definitely don't believe in the Dolphins, and the Chiefs already have a tiebreaker with the Dolphins. And the Dolphins and Ravens have to face anyway. The way I look at it is I do believe the Chiefs can and will get the 1 seed. But that's not my concern here. This is why it drives me nuts when I listen to sports radio in Kansas City and I hear people talk about, well, guys, they're 8-4 leading the division. Why are you bitching so much? Because of the fact that it's the big picture that we're talking about here. We're talking about whether this team can win Super Bowls or not. It's like Ace Ventura when he goes, I don't give a damn about a dolphin. All I care about is winning the Super Bowl. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care about no dolphin. I don't care about no raven. I don't care about anything other than winning the damn Super Bowl. So I don't care where the Chiefs are seated. I am confident they're going to get that 1 seed based upon the fact, like I just laid out, of scheduling and these other teams and the lack of belief I have in them. But are the Chiefs going to capitalize on it? Because, again, 4 of the 7 playoff teams in the AFC as currently constructed have backup quarterbacks playing. The Chiefs have a golden opportunity to walk into another Super Bowl victory. Are they going to do it? That's the question we have to ask.
Let me say this real quick. It will, and I've said this to Lance and Clay in our private Chiefs Migos chat all the time. It will expand Patrick Mahomes' legacy to go in the playoffs on the road. And if the Chiefs go in as a 4 seed and have to win the divisional round and the AFC championship round on the road, that would kick ass. That would cement his legacy that's already cemented. But I mean, think about what that would do. But by saying that, Sky Moore is going to have to run the right route. MVS is going to have to catch a football. I mean, it's going to have to depend on them, whatever Sky Moore and MVS does.
Well,
Yeah.
Shane, if it's really dependent on that, I don't know.
Come on, everybody.
Hey, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Because MVS said he wanted to help win that game versus the Bengals. So some guys just, make plays when it's time for
MVS is just an AFC championship guy. That's the one time
that's all you need.
I hope we have a couple of those.
Game. Yes.
Well, guys, it's prediction time. It's that time of the show because, yes, when you hear the anxiety in my voice, that means that our producers are telling us we are desperately out of time. You know, when you hear that from me, that it's under crunch time. But let's take some time and get some good predictions here. And Shane, I do want to start with you because you have kind of gone out on your kind of set us up here with this possibility of a 2-3 finish. So let's have it. Does this start now? Does the futility continue on Sunday?
What I like is Wanya Morris playing in left tackle. We had him on here in the show earlier, a few months ago, and the kid shows promise. He shows, more importantly, trust, because think about this. Eric Fisher was the number 1 overall pick in 2013. He did not see one snap at left tackle his entire rookie season. Brandon Albert was the left tackle, and Donald Stevenson was the right tackle. Donald Stevenson platooned with Eric Fisher at right tackle. Then when Brandon Albert got hurt against the Broncos, they moved Donald Stevenson. Andy Reid moved Donald Stevenson from right tackle to left tackle, and he put Eric Fisher at right tackle. That speaks volumes. Whatever we can get out of Wanya Morris, a rookie 3rd-round draft pick, and if he keeps playing at left tackle, which I hope he does, nothing against Donovan Smith, but I want to see Wanya Morris for the rest of the year. I'm thinking big picture, because the San Francisco 49ers were the team of the 80s. Yes, the Bears won Super Bowl in 85, but the freaking 49ers were able to freaking maintain and grow and draft and become a dynasty. The Chiefs are a dynasty. Even if the Chiefs go 10-7 and lose in the first round of the playoffs, the dynasty's not over. It just needs to be rebuilt at wide receiver. So don't just think I'm on here just to hate. I got to go with what I see. But specifically to that, I wanted to address that left tackle position and how I'm optimistic about its future with Wanya Morris. Now this game this Sunday, like I said, I was at the game with Lance 2 years ago. The Chiefs are playing inconsistent football. Tyreek Hill dropped a pass thrown to him. It was a pick 6. The way these guys are dropping passes, it could be a pick 6 this Sunday. The Buffalo Bills have won 2 straight regular season games in a row at Arrowhead in 2021 and 2022. I think the Buffalo Bills will win this Sunday 31-21. What do you think, Clint?
Oh, me. You didn't want to come to me next, Shane. I'm going to tell you, because I'm going to piggyback right off it. I love the Bills in this game. Lance mentioned it. This is a desperate team coming in, and they're figuring things out. If the Bills had more wins and Josh Allen had less turnovers, I know if my aunt could be my uncle if she had different parts. I get it. I know what that's all about. Josh Allen, 3,200 yards on the season, and James Cook's really coming along, 700 yards here. Stephon Diggs is heading towards another 1,000-yard season. We saw chinks in the armor for this Chiefs defense. We got injuries to think about. I love the Bills. I almost get a smile on my face, like in one of those like defense mechanism kind of ways, because I'm going to be so mad about it as it happens. The Bills win this game, and they do it 24-17 on Sunday, and the Chiefs head towards the 4 seed in the AFC. What you got, Noah?
Oh, you didn't want to come to me after Shane came to you. Oh, man. Yeah, we're going to look right here at the Kansas City offense. Bills defense is playing well. They're 5th in allowing only 18.9 points per game, 12th in yards. So they're giving up a little bit in yards, but not in the points. And then you go to the Chiefs defense, falling down a little bit, still 3rd and 4th points per game, yards per game. But that Bills offense is nothing to sneeze about or turn your nose up about. But if we can just get this game to overtime, then we are going to win 6 in overtime. It's overtime for Josh Allen, but I don't think it happens. I think this is a 26-24 close game. Chiefs almost pulled it out. They scored some points, but there's a late field goal by Tyler Bass, and the Bills walk out of there 26-24 victors. Michael, I know you're going to pick a Chiefs win. Get off this losing streak.
I don't see. I think the Chiefs are going to find a way to take care of business. Lance, I tell the guys all season long, welcome to the club. The Kansas City Chiefs are now the Los Angeles Lakers of the NFL. This is here in LA. This is how we treat every loss for the Lakers. And, you know, it's only right. You expect greatness, and I expect for the Chiefs to bounce back. I honestly felt if the Chiefs would have beat Green Bay, that they would have came in a little on their high horse and Buffalo would have caught them slipping. But because of this loss, they understand what's in front of them as far as trying to get that number 1 seed. Hell, just trying to get their team together And, Buffalo, they're going to come in desperate, but we know what a desperate Josh Allen does. He gives the ball to the other team. And I think the Chiefs are going to find a way to cause a couple of turnovers. 27-24, the Chiefs make enough plays to pull out this victory at home so they can start their run towards another AFC Championship home game.
I've sat here and I've told you guys how I have felt about this wide receiver room, how I'm frustrated with the way things have gone with this offense when we knew it all along. And I don't. And to your point, Noah, I believe it was you that said it. Or Clint, you may have said it. How did we know? And Brett Veach didn't. Brett Veach did. He just, like I said, he just assumed that everything would just be hunky dory and things would just go about it the right way. I have a lot of strong inclinations. I've reserved my right to hold on to what I said from the beginning of the season. But something else I said about the beginning of the season was that I believe this team is still going to win the Super Bowl because nobody else has the head coach and quarterback duo that this team does. And I believe in this defense. And I think that last week against this Packers team, although it was very frustrating, I don't believe that's what this defense is, especially when Nick Bolton gets back, when Drew Tranquill gets out of concussion protocol. I believe this defense is going to get back to being nasty again. And although I have my trust issues with this Chiefs wide receiver room, I have even bigger trust issues with that Buffalo Bills team as a whole from the top down. Sean McDermott is one of the worst coaches I've ever seen in crunch time and situational football. We've seen that 13 seconds is famous because of that MF. We know that this guy cannot handle that pressure. This team, although is coming in desperate, I did say that. I also saved a little tidbit for this last part. They're also under a lot of pressure, and we know this team under pressure can't handle the pressure. And Josh Allen, balling out, has been incredible this season. There's another distraction on this team that we haven't mentioned yet, and that's Von Miller. He's got some serious personal issues going on right now, and I don't believe he's playing this Sunday. So not having him out there, one of the few legitimate pass rushers they have, who also has been on a snap count this season. He's been on pitch count, I should say. This is something that I think is going to pay dividends for the Chiefs in this side of things, where third down conversions are going to be a big thing for the Chiefs in this game. I don't think the Chiefs are going to go away from the run game late in the game like they did against the Packers. I think that if you look at the Chiefs' schedule right now, over their last 6 games, they've alternated wins and losses. They've won one, lost one, won one, lost one. They just lost. That means the Chiefs are going to get a W this Sunday. I don't feel good about it because, like I said, this Buffalo team is going to come in here with everything they got. But for some reason, but we all know who Daddy is. And it's Patrick freaking Mahomes. And Daddy's going to spank some butts this weekend, guys. And I think Patrick's actually going to have a really good game. I agree with what we were talking about, narrowing down the room. This is a Rashee Rice breakout game again. I think he's going to give that secondary a lot of trouble, guys, because that secondary for the Bills has struggled this season just to stay healthy, let alone be on the field and be a competitive team against good quarterbacks. Because if you look at their schedule, all the quarterbacks since playing Tua early in the season, they've lost to those great quarterbacks, and Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, and the like. I think they keep that trend going. I think the Chiefs put the Bills to bed because I also predicted before the season that the Bills would miss the playoffs. That is coming to fruition. The Chiefs are going to win this game. I don't feel good about it, but damn it, I got to believe this team is going to know because, like I said, the season is here. This is the biggest game of the season. If the Chiefs are a Super Bowl caliber team, they win this game. It might be ugly, and it probably will be, but you know what? It's going to be a win for the Chiefs.
What's your score? What's your score?
Lose one, Lance, then that means we lose to the Patriots?
Stay tuned. They might stub their toes against the Raiders or somebody on that back end, or Jake Browning going out there and playing like Joe Burrow, or even better. I digress. But I look at this team, and I think right now the Chiefs are going to have to try to keep this game nasty and low scoring. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game 24-20.
Let me say this.
I can't wait. You got to
say this. This game is paramount for the Chiefs season, okay? Because if the Chiefs lose to Buffalo, they're more than likely going to be facing Buffalo in the playoffs or week 1 at Arrowhead, because Buffalo will use that momentum and be a 5 seed and the Chiefs will be a 4 seed. But if Lance and Michael are right and the Chiefs win, it will distance themselves from playing Buffalo the first playoff game. So that's something that we have to watch while watching this game, thinking, man, I don't want to lose this game because we're going to have Buffalo back here in 5 weeks for the playoffs. So the Chiefs need to win this game. Just because me, Clint, and Michael, or me, Clint, and Noah predicted the Chiefs lose, don't think we're not going to be cheering for them to win. We want them to win. We don't want to face Buffalo again in the first round of the playoffs. So this is an important win. I hope Michael and I hope Lance are right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, boo those guys. They shouldn't be picking against the Chiefs. But hey, I can't wait to see that matchup with Snead and Diggs. It's going to be a great matchup because Snead has done a great job. hopefully we see more Noah Gray, man. I want to see Noah Gray get more touches, but I can't wait for it, baby. It's gonna be great.
You got something in your
And
hand?
yes, we are desperately out of time here on Arrowhead Allies. Thanks for
Go
joining us. Goodbye.
Chiefs!